I want to quickly talk to you about Capital One Miles, and I want to give you everything you need to know this year about this rewards program. So here are the considerations I want you to think about. So the Capital One Miles program has a slight bias toward international travel versus domestic. So this is not the kind of program you want to go for if you are thinking about traveling from New York to Vegas or from New York to Florida. Okay, if you are thinking international travel, then you want to really think about the Capital One Miles program. It has over a dozen international airline transfer partners, a partnership with Accor hotels, roughly 99% of which are actually based overseas. And also, Capital One Miles has the cheapest credit card on the market with unlimited airport lounge visits. So this is actually the Capital One Venture X Rewards credit card. Okay, so this is kind of cool. But yeah, so you got to really think international travel. Okay, there is not a single domestic airline to transfer points to, and if you need to convert miles to cashback in a pinch, you are looking at a dismal redemption rate of 0 0.5 cents per point. Can you imagine? They're giving you 0 0.5 cents, whereas Citi Thank You and Chase are giving you way more. So you have a pretty dismal rate here. So what are those miles anyway? Let's talk about that. So Capital One Miles is actually, simply put, both the name of the rewards program and the currency that you earn as someone who uses the program. So they are connected with miles as a physical, they're not really connected with miles as a physical measurement of distance, nor are they tied to a specific airline like say Delta Sky Miles are. So essentially what happens here is that I want you to think of miles as a synonym for points when referring to rewards, actually rewards earned. Okay, pretty straightforward. So you earn Capital One Miles primarily through spending on eligible credit cards and can redeem them for travel either in the issuer's portal or by transferring them to partner loyalty programs. So what are the pros and cons of this Capital One Miles program? Let's talk about that. The pros: you have a program that's backed by 3 travel rewards cards with solid perks, rewards, and welcome bonuses. I will explain to you the cards later on. You can use miles to cover travel expenses up to 90 days old on your statement, and transfer partners include 15 international airlines and 3 hotel chains comprising more than 21,000 properties worldwide. So it's really a great choice for globetrotters. Okay, so what about the cons here? Well, miles are only worth a half cent each when redeemed for cash or cash equivalent. Not even the top tier Venture X card gets a bonus multiplier for travel redemptions. Transfer partners do not include Hyatt, IHG, Marriott, or any other U.S. domestic airlines, so that's a bummer. And also, 3 cards still is not many options compared to some competing programs. Let me give you the details here. When you think about the Capital One Miles program, first of all, I want to explain what Capital One Miles really means. So the first thing you should know about Capital One Miles is that Capital One doesn't seem to use separate names for it. 1, it's a rewards program, and 2, the points that you earn with the said program. What I mean is that Chase Ultimate Rewards has Chase Ultimate Rewards points. Citi Thank You Rewards has Citi Thank You points. But Capital One seems content with using Capital One Miles in every context. So, I will do the same. Now, let me cover the basics here. Capital One Miles works the same way like most any other credit card rewards program. What happens here is that you will earn miles by using a select Capital One rewards card, and once you accumulate enough, you can redeem them for goodies. And don't let the term miles fool you. You can redeem them for far more than just flights, including hotels, rental cars, gift cards, cashback, spa treatments, and more. And in fact, there are flexible credit card points going by another name. So now that you really sort of understand the basics, let me go a little further. I want to dig a little deeper here. So how do you earn Capital One Miles? You can earn Capital One Miles by using any of the cards issuers' 3 travel rewards credit cards. So you have 3 of them. The Capital One Venture One Rewards credit card. So this card actually charges you no annual fee, offers a welcome bonus of 20,000 miles after spending $500 on purchases within 3 months from account opening, and generates 5x miles on hotels and rental cars booked through Capital One Travel, plus 1.25x on all other purchases. And the Venture One is one of my picks for the best no annual fee travel credit cards. Next, you have the Capital One Venture Rewards credit card. So this actually charges you a $95 annual fee, but offers a heftier welcome bonus of 75,000 miles once you spend $4,000 on purchases within the first 3 months of account opening. Plus you'll receive a one-time $250 Capital One travel credit in your first cardholder year. That's equal to $1,000 in travel to compensate. Like the Venture one, the Venture generates 5x miles on hotels and rental cars booked through Capital One Travel, but its base rate is 2x miles on every purchase. The third card is the Capital One Venture X Rewards credit card. That's actually the top tier here. Sorry about this. The top tier. So this is actually Capital One's flagship travel rewards card, offering a welcome bonus of 75,000 bonus miles after spending $4,000 on purchases within the first 3 months from account opening. Elevated rewards of 10x miles on hotels and rental cars booked through Capital One Travel, plus 5x miles on flights booked through Capital One Travel, and a base rate of 2x miles on everyday purchases. Now, this card actually charges a steep $395 annual fee, but the $300 back annually for bookings made through Capital One Travel, plus 10,000 bonus miles equal to $100 toward travel every year, starting on your first anniversary, combined to $400 at least in yearly value. So that's really good, and that's not even considering its other perks such as lounge access. Let me give you the methods here. So when you think about Capital One miles, how do you redeem Capital One miles? Now, Capital One gives you 8 total options for redeeming your hard-earned miles. So that's really good in terms of flexibility. So you can cover travel expenses. You can transfer miles. You can book a trip. That's really good. You can share your rewards. You can get gift cards. You can redeem for cash. That's really cool. You can pay with miles, or you can score tickets. Let me really go a little more granular here. So when I speak about covering travel expenses, basically you can cover expenses that have landed, pun intended, on your statement within the past 90 days. Remember this limit, 90 days, 3 months. That's actually how old those travel expenses must be for you to qualify for redemption. That's the first part. You can transfer miles. So you can transfer miles to one of Capital One's 18 travel partners, including Flying Blue, Wyndham Rewards, and more. So this is kind of cool. You can book a trip. So that's really good also, because you are able to monetize real fast. If you want to book a trip via the Capital One travel portal, where you can reserve flights, hotels, or rental cars using cash, miles, or a combination of both, just make sure that when you go with Capital One miles, you want to stay within the Capital One travel ecosystem. That way you can really save a lot more. Or you can just share your rewards. And so those rewards are also called transfer miles. You can share them to a friend or a family member. You can get gift cards from a massive selection of over 285 retail partners. That's really good. I mean, the sheer amount of retail partners that Capital One has, it's really good, really good. Okay. Or you can redeem for cashback. So converting miles to dollars at a rate of, I said this before, 0.5 cents a pop. I mean, again, I wouldn't recommend this because I think it's really it's a small rate, unless you need the cash real fast. Okay. Otherwise, it's not worth it. Or you can pay with miles on Amazon or through PayPal, or you can score tickets to one of more than 500,000 events through Capital One Entertainment. So that's quite a menu of redemption options. But if you're like me, you will naturally gravitate towards the options with the best overall redemption value. I mean, and it also depends on what you want and what your family wants. Now, how much are Capital One miles worth? I mean, I think I've said this before, but I want to really dig a little deeper because it's important. If you are actually considering Capital One miles, the program, the rewards program this year, you have to be really careful about monetization, okay? Now, Capital One miles typically range in value from 0.5 to 1 cent each, depending on how you redeem them, right? The redemption method really plays an important role when it comes to the monetization, the value of the reward. So the value of the mile. Okay, so if you are redeeming Capital One miles for a cashback or a cash equivalent, in other words, you are paying with miles or gift cards, you will generally get around a half cents per mile in value. But if you redeem them through a Capital One travel, you will get that full penny per point. So you can see that Capital One just wants you to really use your miles for travel more. Okay, travel or accommodation, by the way. So this means that in the greater points economy, Capital One miles are definitely one of the weaker rewards currency out there. For comparison, Chase and Wells Fargo points are both worth a penny each in cash redemption. And if you have the Chase Sapphire Reserve cards, which rival the Venture and Venture X cards, your points will be worth 1.25 and 1.50 cents in travel portal value, respectively. So just be aware of that, okay? And so sure, you can always spend your Cap One miles on travel to get a full 1 cent per mile in value. But keep in mind that when you are spending miles, you are not earning miles, right? You have to really think about that. It's like the cash inflow versus cash outflow sort of equation, or mile inflow versus a mile outflow equation. So in other words, when you redeem 10,000 Capital One miles for a hotel room via Capital One travel, you earn 0 rewards. But if you redeem 10,000 Wells Fargo rewards points, let's say for $100, and then book a room with your Wells Fargo Autograph Journey Visa card, you will earn 4x Wells Fargo and additional rewards on the hotel side if you are a member of the hotel chain's loyalty program. In other words, you have 10x as a base member of IHD One Rewards, for example. So really, it's important to really think about things clearly from that point of view. Now, let me talk to you about the transfer partners. I was telling you a little earlier that when you actually consider Capital One miles, you got to really look at a program that's tilted a little towards, not a little, that's tilted significantly towards international travel. So the Capital One transfer partners, you have, there are 18 in total, which handily beats Chase's 14, but all but 2 of them accept Capital One miles at a 1.1 ratio, okay? So, but veteran travelers will notice 2 potential issues with the list right away, okay? I'll show you the list later on, but first, what I want to say is that there is not a single U.S. domestic airline among Capital One's transfer partners. So all 15 out of 15 airlines listed are international carriers that you may only fly once a year, if ever, meaning that there is not a transfer partner that can help you get from San Francisco to New York. So those are things that, I mean, I'm speaking here about very practical things, right? I mean, we got to look at these things for real, okay? And so it's not the end of the world, but if you're willing to learn how to leverage airline alliances, for example, you might be able to transfer, let's say, Capital One miles to Virgin Red, then use Virgin points to book a ticket on a Delta Airlines flight, as they are both SkyTeam Alliance members. I mean, that's kind of fine. I'm not saying here that you shouldn't do it if you are willing to go that route, okay? But it's just the fact that you have to do this sort of travel acrobatics all the time, okay? So this is something to think about. But this solution is not perfect, as airlines may release limited seating availability to partners. The second, more subjective issue is the trio of hotel partners. In aggregate, the Wyndham, Choice, and All networks comprise over 21,000 properties globally, which is really a huge spread, right? But again, if you're looking to book something domestic, you may quickly feel the absence of Hyatt, Marriott, or IHD. So, on the flip side of things, anyone with a rapidly filling passport may see the long list of international partners as a big plus. If that's you, then lucky you. You should be happy here. But I just wanted to point that, okay? And but don't forget that you'll still have to pay taxes and fees on your tickets as is standard. In other words, if you've ever fantasized about redeeming credit card rewards in exchange for a fully enclosed first-class suite on Emirates, Capital One miles may be the program for you. So, in case you were wondering, I wanted to share with you the complete list of Capital One transfer partners as of the date of this show, so you have a clear idea what am what am I speaking about? One thing I want to say here is that when you think about those partners, I want you to think about affordability. I want you to think about flexibility. I want you to think about convenience, right? It's not about the fact that there are international, let's say, travel partners. It's just that it's the convenience that they offer. So in terms of airlines, you have Aero Mexico Club Premier. We'll put this on the screen so it's clear to you. It's clear to all our viewers. So you have Aero Mexico Club Premier, Aero Mexico. Okay, you have Air Canada, Aeroplan. You have Cathay Pacific, Asia Miles. You have Avianca Live Miles, British Airways Executive Club, Emirates Skywards. You have Etihad Guest. You have EVA Air at a rate of 1,000 Capital One miles to 750 EVA Air miles. That's actually the redemption ratio there. You have Finnair Plus. You have Flying Blue, very important, Flying Blue. You have Qantas Frequent Flyer, the Australian carrier. You have Singapore Airlines KrisFlyer. You have TAP Miles and Go. You have Turkish Airlines Miles and Smiles, and you have Virgin Red. So you can see again that the whole thing is that if you are going to go with Capital One Miles, just be aware that you will be doing a lot of international traveling. Okay, it is what it is. In terms of hotels, you have Accor Live Limitless, Choice Privileges, and Wyndham Rewards. Now, when you think about Accor Live Limitless, you have a rate of 1,000 Capital One miles to 500 all points. So all stands for Accor Live Limitless, by the way. Accor Live Limitless. And you have Choice Privileges and you have Wyndham Rewards. So this is really what it is. Those are transfer partners. So let me give you a little bit of a comparison. How does Capital One Miles compare to other rewards programs? Okay. So overall, as a credit card rewards program, Capital One Miles doesn't stack up well to the stiff competition it faces this year. Right out the gate, the program's biggest competitive drawback is that miles are only worth half a cent each in cashback redemption. That's half the value of the equivalent Chase or Wells Fargo point redeemed for cashback. And for further reference, American Express membership rewards points are worth up to a full cent in gift card redemption, and Citi Thank You points are worth a penny each in cashback in most cases. So something to really think about, okay? And so even if you save, let's say, even if you save your Capital One miles for travel redemptions only, you still won't get as much value per mile, 1 cent, as you could from a Chase or US Bank points up to 1.5 cents each. So that's the important element to think about. Now, I have reviewed on another show, Citi Thank You, to sort of give you the competitive edge that this program has. And so I wanted to, if you want to go back and watch that video. And finally, it's worth repeating that Capital One's lack of domestic airline partners severely hinders actually the program's overall versatility, because Amex has Delta, Citi has JetBlue, and Chase has a Southwest, United, and JetBlue. Sure, you can always use Capital One miles to book domestic flights via Capital One Travel, but your miles are hard capped at a cent per point that way. Okay, so all that said, frequent international travelers may be more willing than most to forgive the program's biggest shortfalls. Okay, they might see, if you are one of them, they might see the 15 international airline partners and think, hey, that beats the pants off Chase and especially Wells Fargo, right? Then they might see the Venture X cards 100 global entry credit, $300 annual travel credit, 10x earning rate on hotels and rental cars booked through the portal, and unlimited priority pass airport lounge access, and think, okay, I'm in. Time to apply and earn that monster welcome bonus, okay? In other words, the point I'm trying to make here is that basically you may actually have a similar revelation to the one that I was saying a little earlier, that, despite all of its shortcomings, the Capital One Miles program can have massive niche appeal if you are planning the next stamp on your passport. It's all about being internationally oriented anyway. In closing, in today's conversation, I spoke to you about the Capital One Miles. I gave you the considerations, the details, the methods, the transfer partners, the comparison, and the closing arguments. Thank you so much. God bless you. I'll see you next time. Until then, remember, stay marvelous.